Yes, what's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and give me a follow on TikTok also. So, yeah, let's get into this one. So, a bit of breaking news for the heavyweight division. Another fight that's for me is going to be spectacular, barn burner, every descriptor you want to put on it, and that is that on May 9th we are going to be having Fabio Wardley defending his heavyweight title against Dynamite Daniel Dubois. And these guys, they're both Frank Warren fighters. They're both under Queensbury. And yeah, this is explosive. This is, from the information I've heard, this is going to be taking place in Manchester. I'm not sure which arena in Manchester. It might be the Co op Live Arena. I think that's about 30,000 seater. That's the last boxing event I went to, I think last year. So yeah, it's gonna be on, and for me, this is a very explosive fight. I mean, it's one of those fights where you could kind of call it a sort of 50-50 fight because I think it's quite even. I think the factors, there's a few factors in it. Like you could say a few differences are that Daniel Dubois has boxed right to the top level. He's definitely, I would say, boxed the better competition. Although Fabio Wardley, when he stepped up in levels and fought Joseph Parker, he was competitive with him and he gave him a beat in the event. He eventually took him out, knocked him out. So both men are proven at the top level. I'd say Daniel Dubois slightly mixed in a better company. Both guys are not very good defensively. Both guys are very hittable. So this could be one of those fights where it's just a case of whoever lands first. It might be a case of if Wardley gets Dubois on the hook, if he gets him hurt, then he might take him out, and the opposite could be true. That and if Dubois gets hold of Wardley first and manages to get to him and hurt him first, then it could be all over for Fabio Wardley. And I think this is one of those where it's a very even Stevens fight. I mean, obviously, Wardley's coming off of the biggest win of his career and off of winning his world heavyweight title, so he'll be sort of the man on a high. Whereas Dubois, you're coming off of the loss to Alexander Usyk and whatnot. But I think it's a very competitive fight, no matter what happens. And I think, as many others have noted, this is one of those fights that ends inside the distance. This probably, for me, I would say this probably doesn't go, too far past about round eight or, maybe round 10 at the most. But I think this is one of those where it probably goes, mid rounds to, towards the championship rounds, like 8, 9. But it probably ends by or before then because both guys are very explosive. Both guys, and they're not really that hard to find. Maybe Dubois slightly better defensively when he moves his feet out of range or whatnot. But yeah, but this is, yeah, barn burner. Fabio Wardley's got the killer instinct. He's been underestimated and underdog in a lot of in his last couple of fights. Hooney looked to be taking him to school and almost giving him a bit of a beating, and he found a way there. Parker was competitive, but that was a bit more even, and Fabio Woodley found a way there. And Dubois, really, Dubois is going to be very dangerous. All Dubois got to watch out for is he's just got to be mentally switched on and focused. And I think the fact that this is not an Alexander Usyk type of fighter, a tricky fighter. I mean, Wardley can be tricky in terms of how he throws from different angles, but I think you can still get to him. You can still hit him, without too much trouble. So this is just going to be a war of attrition, and it's who's the better prepared man, and who's ready to go to the trenches. And I think is a lot of it. The winner is going to be determined really on who gets there first, who gets in and lands the power shots and the hurtful shots first. And I'm a bit sort of on the fence with it. I don't know who exactly will win. Maybe you could say Dubois, but then you could say, will he mentally break down when Fabio Wardley might still be there after he's landed his best shot? Will he mentally break? Um, and at the same time, there's also the question mark with Fabio Wardley in that, at least in my opinion, I think Daniel Dubois will be the biggest puncher that Fabio Wardley's been in a ring with. So he's been, fighting with reckless abandon. I mean, Joseph Parker's a decent puncher, he can punch hard, but I think Daniel Dubois' power is on another level. It's really, he's one of the sort of biggest punchers in the heavyweight division. And, when Wardley's been in those troublesome fights, he's been in there against guys, who needs a bit more of a boxer, and other guys earlier in his career, and Parker, who's a respectable puncher, but not with the same power level as a Daniel Dubois. So it'll be interesting to see how Wardley copes with the hardest puncher he's been in the ring with. I think he probably will cope well, but he'll want to be a little bit careful with Daniel Dubois. But nonetheless, for me, it's just a fight. I'm happy that it's going to happen, and I can't wait to see the outcome, see the result. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.